morning and welcome back to Dwayne and Nidia Food, Travel, and Fun. And today we're going to take a few minutes to make an outstanding recipe for pretty much any season of the year. We're going to make pimento cheese dip or pimento cheese spread, but it's that Southern classic. It doesn't take a lot of time and effort. It certainly doesn't take a lot of ingredients. It's a very easy, very basic recipe. You may have most of the stuff you need at home, but it's absolutely delicious and extremely versatile. Let me tell you what you'll need first. First, I have 1 bar of softened cream cheese. I have 1 4-ounce jar of pimientos, diced pimientos, which I will strain and remove the liquid from before I use it. I do have a bar of extra sharp cheddar cheese, and I'm using the whole bar and actually grating it myself. I have found in different recipes that rather than buy that bag of already shredded or already grated cheese, the texture of the cheese and the recipes taste much, much better when you actually grate your own cheese from a fresh bar. Don't know if it's some chemical process that the shredding goes through, but it's definitely better to use this. Doesn't matter if it's a dip or if it's mac and cheese. If you can, do grate your own cheese. Some hot sauce, I can use Red Hot, you can use Crystals, you can use Cholula, anything you like. I have half a cup of mayonnaise, that's regular full-fat Hellmann's mayonnaise that I'm using. I do have some garlic powder, some onion powder, some coarse ground sea salt, and I believe that is it. That pretty much takes us through all of the different ingredients. Let me tell you what we do. You make sure you have your cream cheese softened. And I've left this out for a little bit so it is somewhat soft. Next thing I'm going to do is actually grate my cheese. And I'm going to do that, but kind of zip through it so it doesn't take too long. Okay. All right, I'm ready to grate my cheese. I've actually cut the bar in half. You'll need about 2 cups, 2.5 cups of grated cheese. I did put this cheese in the freezer for just about 15 to 20 minutes. I find it makes it easier. And I do want to grate this into the shreds, so I'll just get started here. So I've really eyeballed it here. It looks like I have about 2 cups. Let's see how we do. It's just so much more moisture laden than that dry stuff you get out of the bag. So it's obviously a very overflowing cup. This looks to be about another cup. We're pretty close to 3 cups of cheese, and that's absolutely fine with me and fine with the recipe. You know, you can't overdo it with cheese. All right, next thing is I'm going to strain the pimientos and bring them back in a little jar, and we'll start combining our dip. All right, here you have it. I've now strained most of the juice and liquid that comes with the diced pimientos. I have made sure that my cream cheese is softened. You can see here how easily I am able to stir. I'm going to set aside this cheese because that's going to go last. First things up, give your cream cheese a good stir and then add in those diced pimientos. Give that a stir. And here comes the color. If your cream cheese is still a little hard, I suggest you put it in the microwave, even if it's just for about 15 seconds or so. It'll be really nice and soft, easy to manipulate. There we go. You're going to put about a 1/4 teaspoon of salt in here. It does need a little bit of that saltiness. You're going to need about a half a teaspoon of garlic powder. And yes, I'm using estimates, but I am giving you roughly the different amounts of the ingredients. Look below in the description. I am going to put the recipe down there. And then just for that vinegar edge, you can use a little bit of hot sauce. I like this. I like crystals. I would probably say a quarter teaspoon, or just keep going, you know. It's up to you. Remember, whatever you like is whatever you can make. Give this a stir. And this is all to your taste. Certainly, if you like it more garlicky, or if you like a little bit more of that onion essence, add more of these spices. When I do these recipe videos, I try to go on the, safe side for the greatest number and degrees of palates. There's my mayo. Now, I've made this before where I've actually used a handheld, but I kind of like the thicker, bumpier texture I get, especially once I put the cheese in. I like that chunky spread. This is becoming very, very smooth. Now I will put in what looks like about 3 cups of shredded sharp cheddar. And this is the one that you just saw me shred. And I'll give this a mix. And incorporate it really, really well. This is where in the past I've used a hand blender. I've actually even used a handheld, one of those types of blenders that you can use with soups and stews to puree things. Some people prefer to use a blender or something. It just depends. I would say whatever you do use, make sure it's on slow speed. You do want to retain some of the shreds. Last time I made it, I really didn't do anything with the handheld. I just incorporated everything using my spoon here. I do like the texture that the cheese brings. This is looking really great. And make sure you get every little smidge of cheese and every little smidge in there. It's always going to be better. There you go. And this is what it's looking like. I'll give you a much closer look in a second. At this point, you can do what I would call a taste test of sorts. Taste it, and you can either adjust the amount of onion powder, adjust the amount of garlic powder, certainly salt, as well as the hot sauce. But this is pretty much it. It has a beautiful texture to it. Let's give you a closer look. All right, now that you've seen what it looks like up close, give this just a little more of a stir. And there you have it. Now all we need to do is chill this. We got a container. So here we are. I'm putting it in an airtight Tupperware, but any airtight container is great for this. You will want to chill it before you eat it. I would say you want it to chill for at least an hour. You can actually portion this into smaller portions in airtight containers. This recipe will probably keep for about 5 or 6 days. Whoops, just made a mess. 5 or 6 days in the refrigerator if you keep it in an airtight container or vessel. This is looking mighty fine. So how do you eat or how do you use this pimento cheese dip? Well, certainly, as is, this is amazing. And typically, I guess what's traditional in the South, and I know when I've ordered it at different restaurants, I've seen it served with saltine crackers. Just regular, plain old saltine crackers. Certainly, any cracker you like will do. I'm actually making it this time because I made a beautiful, yes, absolutely, by my own admission, beautiful classic tomato basil soup yesterday. And even though I've never tried it, I've seen it on menus that it is really good to make a grilled cheese out of this pimento dip. So I'm going to surprise my mother and bring her some of the tomato soup that I made yesterday. And I'm going to bring this pimento cheese dip over with some sourdough bread. And I'm going to make some grilled cheese, some pimento grilled cheese. And we'll have it with the tomato soup. All right, I'm going to chill this and then I'll show it to you once it's all set and ready to go. And this is the final, the way to serve it. I'm just going to try this out for you guys here on camera. I'm serving it with some Ritz crackers and some saltine crackers. Certainly some people would use, some vegetable sticks, some crudité, carrots, celery, that kind of thing. And I have topped it off with a little bit more hot sauce. In this case, I used a very, nice sriracha and a few parsley leaves. All right, so this is the dip, and now I'm going to give it a try. Okay, so I have my dip here. It's nice and room temp. Let me just incorporate some of that sriracha, some of the parsley. I'm going to put it on the very, very simple, plain, very lightly salted saltine. Wow. I've made this a few times, but this one I think is my favorite, probably because I put the little extra sriracha on top. You can use this in so many different ways. Like I mentioned before, just serve it straight as is with any crackers or chips and things. Grilled cheese. I would think anything where you would like a spread of cheese, you could use pimento. The taste of the pimentos actually comes through quite nicely. Uh-oh. Before I make a mess of things, let me just say goodbye. And thank you all for watching this video. Please hit that like button. Hit that subscribe if you all are not already subscribed to our station. It is free. It really helps us out. The big thumbs up helps us out. So thank you again, and we'll see you next time, either on one of our adventures or back here in the kitchen. Thanks.